minutes. So yes, making sure that you got water. I definitely recommend some pen and paper, as I'll be moving through some slides. And I also want to encourage you, if during the slides you have any questions, to go ahead and start typing them into the chat box, so that at the end I can go ahead and answer those for you. So we're going to get started in about 4 minutes here, and I'll be excited to share with you these 5 strategies on avoiding the friend zone. So welcome. I'm so excited to have you here and to be live with you and to be answering your questions. You saw some behind the scenes situations there, which is all good. It's all real, right? So yeah, thank you so much for joining me this evening, taking this time to invest in your dating by finding out what are 5 ways to permanently avoid the friend zone. I'm also going to be sharing with you, which I think it's really important in tying this all in together, sharing with you why women place men in the friend zone to begin with, right? I feel it's super important to know so that you're able to get a woman's perspective as to why this commonly happens. And then, of course, answering any of your questions so that we can answer, and gets to unraveling any of the questions that you might have about this these strategies that I'm going to share with you, as well as anything else that might be going on in your dating that you're encountering as you're approaching women that I can help you with on the spot. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'll pop back on with you towards the end so that we can go ahead and get started with the PowerPoints. All right. All right, so 5 strategies to avoid the friend zone. This is Christy DeLeon, your relationship expert, and welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. And I want to make sure that you are in the right place, because the way I tailored this PowerPoint was to meet these needs. So if you see yourself frequently getting placed in the friend zone, your last couple of attempts have been frustrating because you've invested time, energy, and money to be only placed in the friend zone. And I can tell you, I know how frustrating that is, because I myself have been in the friend zone. So it sucks for sure. You want to be with a woman, but you're thinking that you have to be a jerk to be interested in them. And I think it's sad for me to hear men to say that to each other. Oh, you just need to be a jerk to them. You need to be mean to them. No, women want nice guys. And I'm going to share with you some ways as to how you can continue to be who you are, that gentleman that you are, and attract the kind of woman that you want. And of course, you're frustrated with your efforts, hitting a dead end, especially, again, after all the time, energy, and resources you have invested in this woman, in whether it started, online, and then it moved to in person, and then it just stopped dead in its tracks, or that you met her somewhere and, you felt good at the beginning, but then it went nowhere. And lastly, that you're ready to step up your game because you want a relationship. And, at first, I'm all about definitely dating to, if you haven't dated in a while, getting your feet wet again and getting to know for, another time around here of the kind of woman that you want, and maybe getting familiarized with the dating scene again, if maybe you've been out of the scene for a while. So there's nothing wrong with dating, but ultimately it's that you are in a place that you want to find that one woman to share your life, share your success with. That's the kind of guy that I geared this presentation for. So before we get started here, in order to get the most out of this time that you are investing here, and I definitely want to be mindful of your time as well, I encourage you to turn off your distractions so that you can be fully present, and so that you're with being fully present, right, then you're able to ask those questions, and you can send them to me privately if you'd like, and I could share with it at the end. So yeah, I want to make sure that you are also getting some mental stimulation from this, and it's jogging any questions that you might have. Definitely grab something to write with so that you can jot down these strategies and any other insights that you might be having that, oh yeah, I am doing that, or make a note to not do this anymore. And lastly, give yourself the opportunity to be fully present. You've cut out this time in your evening, and I definitely want you to get the most out of it, because I know this information will have a big impact on your dating. So a quick outline for today. I'm going to share with you the first 3 strategies. Then I'm going to give you a solution to your dating problems. This is something that has helped the men that I work with, and I want to share that with you too. Then we'll go in for the last 2 strategies. And lastly, I'm going to offer you some live hot seat coaching. So throughout this presentation, as questions come up, again, you can send them to me privately, or just chat them in, type them in the general chat box, so that I can get right to it at the end here and make sure that your questions are answered. So before sharing the first one, I wanted to share with you as to why I speak to men, and share with you a little bit about myself. My mission really is to help men in your position achieve the relationship that will provide fulfillment, happiness, and love. And whether you've been in a relationship before that you thought you had these things and it turned out to be otherwise, or maybe you've never been in a relationship where you've experienced these emotional needs, I'm on a mission to help men get there. And I've been so fortunate to already have helped them, because I see what a difference it makes on how they show up, not only for themselves, for their career, for their business. Everything else just starts ramping up, and it's so exciting to see them be in that place where they're so excited and passionate about life. And that really brings me so much happiness, because I know it's a snowball effect, right? You start performing better at work, or if you are running your own business, that starts doing better. You start giving more to others. Your relationship is that much more fulfilled. And it's just a trickle-down effect. And although it sounds kind of cliche, but it's a trickle-down effect to creating a better world, creating a better society, which I think all of us want a better place for ourselves and for our kids, for the generations after us. I know that's kind of big and up there, but I wanted to share that with you. And, from my years as a licensed psychotherapist, I worked with a lot of men and couples. And that really has fueled my desire to help people get in those relationships that bring them more fulfillment, happiness, and love. And I take not only from my professional experience, but also my 15 years of being in a successful relationship. Successful not meaning that it's quiet and perfect. And here I'm showing a little picture of my husband, Mike, and I. But yeah, we have our ups and downs, even with my training, right? I'm not here being his therapist. I'm his wife, and I don't think he'd want me as his therapist or his coach, and I would not want to be either. So yeah, we have our conflicts, and conflict is actually healthy, because we're both two different people with different perspectives. Even though we love each other, sometimes we dislike what's going on. And that's okay, because at the end of the day, we love each other and we know that we can have those kinds of uncomfortable conversations with each other and that nobody's going to jump ship. Which is huge, right? Because I see a lot of men and women avoid relationships because they're fearful of being abandoned, which is really heartbreaking because I know that everyone has their perfect someone for them out there. All right, so jumping back into avoiding the friend zone, why men get placed there. So this is something that I want to make sure that you know right off the bat. Why do women do this to men? And I could speak to it not only for my research of working with women, but in being a woman who has placed men in the friend zone. One, it's that we're not in the same place as you guys, whether it's that you're wanting something more and we are not because of where we're at in our life, and we just came out of a breakup ourselves. We have our own crazy chaos and we get fearful too. So it's better to have you in the friend zone than not have you. And women know that, and I hate to stereotype this for you guys, but this is something that happens, so I want to share it with you. I just want to be real and honest with you here. Women know that you guys, right, guys are sex driven, and that a lot of guys, because of that desperateness of maybe they haven't been in relationships, are willing to stay in the friend zone. You're willing to stay in that little glass emergency case break in case of emergency, then not be on a woman's radar, right? So women know that about men, and some women, I can honestly say that's not reason why I placed men in the friend zone, but some women take advantage of that and put men in the friend zone. And another big reason why women do that is that they're not attracted to you. Just flat out, totally honest with you, not going to sugarcoat it. If she's not attracted to you, she's going to put you there because it is a subtle way, and women are subtle, right? Most women are. Yes, there are some women who unfortunately feel that they have to turn on quote unquote bitch mode in order for guys to get the message. But a subtle way of telling you I'm not interested is keeping you as a friend. And that's easier and safer and avoids conflict. So those are some of the two main reasons why men get placed in the friend zone. And so now I want to start sharing with you, what are the 5 strategies to avoid the friend zone permanently? So one is, here's it written here, take action, AKA make a move. So not only when you approach a woman, it is after the approach that that if you are really interested in her, right, you've given yourself the opportunity to get to know her a bit, to have her speak, right? She hears you, things are going well. Perhaps hopefully you end up on a first date with her. But even before then, that you are like this picture here, you're leaning in, you're giving physical cues to her that you are really interested in her. That is huge. That you are coming from a place of, I am attracted to you, I want something more with you than just to be friends. Because when women get this ambiguous vibe of, okay, yeah, he came up to me and he's kind of not doing anything, so you know what, I'm just going to chalk it up and put him in the friend zone. Which one, I've done. But two, it is so much easier to do that, to kind of dump you in this category, because then it's kind of out of sight, out of mind, and then she's on to the next guy that approaches her. So definitely when you are in that place of approaching a woman, because approaching a woman is the first action step to take. But after that, it's making a move. Now, I'm not saying like within 5 minutes of meeting a woman, you're going to lean in for a kiss, but making a move of it's asking for her number. Hey, can we go grab coffee sometime? Or if you get into a conversation of hiking or something, or some type of activity, I'd love to do that with you. Like making that bold move of asking her out on a date, that is definitely a great move to show her that you are interested in her romantically, and phrase it in a way as a date, not like, let's just hang out sometime. No, I'd like to take you out too. That is a great phrase that is indicative of date, not just hanging out, friend time. So that is the first and foremost step here, taking action, aka make a move. The second strategy is do not be so available. I think this is a great picture of one friend like, oh my God, you're on the phone with her again. And this guy is like super excited. She texts me back. No, like if you are wanting to be romantically interested and involved, I should say, with a woman, then you need to act that way, coming from a boyfriend perspective of, no, I'm not going to be available at your every beck and call, because that already sets up the relationship to a bad start. But that, maybe you'll text her once a day, maybe twice, definitely respond to her texts, but that it's not that you are like hot on her trail every 5 minutes asking of, what do you need? Where should we go? Want to meet up? No, that you're creating space so that, yes, it's also creating some desire. Because again, when we have something that we know it's there, we start taking it for granted, right? It loses its luster. There isn't a sense of like scarcity with it. And as you're getting to know someone, I mean, again, this is a total stranger, right? That you did not know a day ago, 3 days ago, whatever. So you want to give yourself the opportunity to get to know her, of course, to weed out the crazy, as well as her getting to know you, so that you are really coming from a place of, okay, I know this woman, and yes, I want to pursue something else with her, because that's huge, right? I don't want for you to rush into something and then find yourself in the same type of relationship patterns you have been in before. So don't be so available. Don't make yourself be available to her every beck and call. If she asks, if it's super last minute, are you available tonight? No, actually, I'm not. And if it's that you've made plans, then no. Am I saying lie? Like, hey, actually, you know what? I would actually endorse that. You have my endorsement as a relationship coach to tell her, if she tells you like 5 minutes before, hey, you want to meet me here right now? Actually, you know what? I can't. How about tomorrow? And then go from there, because then that is also a beautiful test to her too, right? What is her intention? Is she really genuinely interested in you, or does she just wanting to take advantage of you and kind of manipulate the situation? So again, guys, do not be so available. All right, the third strategy, increase attraction. So I have to go here because this is huge. And I know this can be kind of a tender subject with people in general, for women as well, right? Of what does your exterior say about you? Because that is your real life business card. The way you present to someone, the way you come off to someone when they first see you, right? You have seconds with someone, with a woman, to leave that first impression of her deciding, is this a man that I want to spend my time with romantically, or maybe is this someone that I might be interested in having as a friend? And to go with the first, right, of her wanting to see you as someone, as a possible partner, she's got to find you attractive, point blank, right? Because what do we also want in a relationship? We want intimacy. We want sex. And if you're not physically attracted to someone, you're not going to want to be that way with them. So physical attraction is absolutely a must. So in looking at how you go out and present to the world, and here I have a picture of a guy with like the full suspenders, button up, tie, kind of different, having his tattoos. But no, do I mean, like, is this the kind of guy that you need to be? No, but you need to be a guy that shows a woman that you are taking care of yourself. Especially if that's the kind of woman you want. If you want a woman with a hot body who cares about how she looks, who takes the time to put herself together, speaking from being a woman who does that, I think I'm safe to generalize here, any other woman who invests that kind of time in herself is less likely, will not want to be with a guy who doesn't put that kind of effort into himself. Because that right there is a conflict of interest. You're going to the gym, you're making that time, you're being mindful of what you eat, you're taking care of yourself, you are valuing yourself as a woman by making that extra effort of being put together and being physically fit. You want a guy that does that too. And so if there's a mixed match with that, it is less likely to happen. So if you're out on the dating scene right now, this is something that I definitely want you to ask yourself, am I presenting in a way that is attractive to other women? Because that's the first thing that we see, right? And yeah, it does unfortunately sound very superficial, but you guys, I think both men and women, we both do the same thing, right? You look at someone and the first thing you see is going from the top down, right? Hair, face, body, butt, legs, right? You do the whole scan. Are you interested or are you not? And that's what women are doing too, because women also know that if it's not you, it's the next guy that's either standing behind you or that will walk into wherever you are within 5 minutes. And women, I definitely want to share with you that women are less and less likely to just take any guy, right, that shows them attention, unless it's a woman with perhaps some other deeper issues of sex and love addiction or low self-worth, which that's a whole nother host of problems, right? So again, kind of going back to the kind of woman that you really want, that when you close your eyes and I ask you, what is your dream woman? You can either picture that actress or perhaps a woman that you dated in the past, someone similar to like that to her, or maybe if it is her, but that you have an image of her and what are her interests, what she values, that you're going to come across as someone who is attractive to her, that shares in those same values and interests. right? Because when you are sharing with someone on that level, everything flows so much easier, right? And then you're able to be happy. You're not at conflict, which is what both men and women want. We want to flow easy with our partner. So we're going to be attracted to people who right off the bat are kind of symbolizing interests that we have too. All right, so I spent a little bit more time on that one, but that is definitely something that's really important because that is the first thing that you give off, right, to a woman. It's the first thing she sees. So to avoid the friend zone, to avoid being X'd out in her mind, you have to come across as attractive. All right, so halftime. We've covered these first 3 steps. So as a brief recap, the first strategy was to take action or to make a move. The second strategy was to not be so available. And the third strategy is to increase your attractiveness. So I wanted to take a second here and share with you this special invitation because I know it is something that will get you closer to dating more women and ultimately finding the woman of your dreams, which is, again, something that I am passionate about helping you do, regardless of what stage you are in your life, because I know how much a healthy relationship brings and elevates, right? Your energy, your whole life changes when you have someone that you can share your life with, that you are in love with. So I want to share with you an invitation to get my Perfect 10 strategy session. And in this session, we're going to do these 3 things. We are going to create a crystal clear vision of the woman that is truly perfect for you. Because without a clear vision, it is hard to create a map, right? To know how to get to her if we don't really know what you want, right? Then it's kind of like shooting darts in the dark, which totally lowers your the probability. And that's something that I don't want you to waste time doing that anymore. The second thing is that we're going to uncover the blocks that might be holding you back, standing in your way, or sabotaging your efforts. And it's really important to shed light on those because, right, those are the things that have been standing in your way thus far. And in wanting to maximize your efforts, we need to know what those things are. And lastly, we're going to establish an action plan to help you achieve the results you want. Results meaning, first, right, if you are not on the dating scene, getting you on the dating scene, getting you dates, and then weeding it down to the kind of woman that you really want to date. So it's a free session that takes about 35 minutes. I do only have 2 sessions available. And I know of the men who are present here, statistics say that only 10% are going to put into action what is shared here. So I hope that we beat the odds in this presentation. But I want to speak to the men who are in a place that, yes, I want to move forward. I don't want to be in this place anymore. Let's do this. So I have 2 sessions available. Jot down my email, kd@christydeleon.com, and email me so that we can schedule your session right away. Because again, I know from this session, you're going to have, right, a clear vision. You're going to know what's been standing in your way, and you're going to have an action plan. All things to change your whole dating game from where it's at right now. All right, so let us jump right back in to number 4, which is to pick up on what she is not saying. So this picture is, when I saw it, I thought this actually speaks so perfectly to, to what I envision happening sometimes of here you are as a guy, kind of sitting there nervously looking, is she into me? Is she not? I don't want to come across as creepy or rapey. But yet looking at the woman here in this picture, she has a giddy smile, right? And I'm sure you've experienced that smile a woman gives that is kind of shy and playful. That's letting you know that that she's into you. So I want to, this is so important because 80 to 90% of our communication is nonverbal. 80 to 90%. So even before you walk up to her, she is already giving you signals. Of course, if she's seeing you, right? But most women, we do kind of have that like sixth sense, unless you're totally blindsiding us, of someone watching us, right? Of someone looking at us. So before you even walk up to her, how is she physically responding to her? What are her eyes saying? Is she looking at you? Is she not? Is she smiling at you? Is she tousling her hair while she's looking at you? Or is she totally avoiding you? Is she like turning her shoulder, like creating space, creating almost like a physical barrier between you and her? And this is really important to know how to read a woman's body language, because that's going to cue you in on, do I even go up to her? Which, if she's giving you all those signals of blatantly avoiding eye contact, not smiling, turning a shoulder to you, like, right, creating that physical wall, do not go up to her. Unless you're a glutton for punishment, do not go up for it, because it's going to be a waste of your time. She's telling you, I'm not interested. I don't want to talk to you, in a subtle way. And women, we communicate more, on a subtle level because, right, it's easier, less conflict, less confrontation. So it's important for you. It's really important for you to tune in and to read her body language, because that is, like the first line of communication, right? So she's already telling you if she's interested in you or not. And I want to help you to avoid and minimize those situations of rejection, right? So if you are reading a woman's body signals, right, you're going to be avoiding less and less those uncomfortable rejection moments. Now, I'm emphasizing this, however, I don't want you to go to the place of dissecting every single little thing that a woman's doing and then doubting, well, she looked at me and then she looked away, and, and doing like play-by-play move here. No, it's kind of like when you're looking at her, you can also get a sense too, like if she's looking at you, the kind of eyes that she's giving, right? Is she smiling, or is it like dead face, right, looking at you, resting bitch face, right? Which some women actually do that and isn't because they're trying to be bitchy, but it is what it is. But you can tell, right? So I want you to slow down a second when you see a woman that you're attracted to and that you are wanting to approach, right? Like strategy number 1, taking that action. Tune into what she is sharing with you on a nonverbal level, so that is it a red light or a green light? Because if it's a red light, don't do it. I cannot tell you in a more blunt way, just don't do it. Spare yourself and move on. And maybe it's a good thing that she's not into you, because maybe she is crazy, right? And we don't need any additional craziness in our lives. All right, so the last one here, guys. The fifth strategy, which is the most important. Oh my goodness. The fifth strategy is mindset. Yeah, so huge. It is so huge because mindset really sets the stage for everything. And in dating and in the friend zone, if your mindset isn't right, is in a very chaotic place, it's going to put you there, because she's going to read that. Women are intuitive and we pick up on energy. So this picture, I feel, gives a great little snapshot of what some of my clients have gone through, of seeing a woman. Maybe it's a woman that they have seen more than once. Maybe it's the first time. And I could just imagine him walking up and then, oh my God, turning around. Here he is, almost like hyperventilating, thinking, oh shit, what do I say? What do I do? I'll just walk away, right? But yeah, that self-doubt that starts creeping up, it's what creates this scenario. It stops you from taking action, which self-doubt is a part of your mindset, right? If you are doubting your abilities, if you are doubting what you have to offer, if you're doubting how you look, if you think, well, she's probably just going to reject me anyways, all those things, right? All that mental noise that just starts rolling around in there and stops you in your tracks. That's the stuff, right? That if that stuff is there, it's going to make it really hard to do anything else. So this picture really spoke to me, because I think this is something that that a lot of men can relate to, and I could think, and I want to share with you that women are attracted to a man who is self-confident. And you hear that term about alpha male, right? An alpha male is confident. One of the most alluring aspects of an alpha male is his confidence. He doesn't question everything he does or says, which for women, we find that really sexy, really attractive. A man who is confident, right? That's why, unfortunately, some jerks, some douchebags get women, because they do just that. Their own self-confidence, even if it's delusional, they have self-confidence and they're not questioning what they're doing or what they're saying. They're just doing it. Shy of being impulsive, they are not letting any of those doubts creep in. Maybe they don't have them. I don't know. But what we see is they are showing a level of self-confidence that is allowing them to take that action without any hesitation. And that's what women want. They want a man who is going to take action without hesitation. That's the kind of guy that women are attracted to, because even going back to a very primitive mental state, right? We know that we're smaller and weaker than men, right? Just biology. And we want a guy who is going to be able to protect us in case of something happening. And a guy who can do that is what? A guy who takes action, a guy who's confident, who's sure of himself, that even if it's the other guy is bigger and stronger, he's still going to stand up to him. And that's the kind of guy that women really want. And I think that's the kind of guy that your ideal woman wants, right? Because most men too also want a woman who's confident, who's independent, who's not going to be so needy that is going to need him every single second of the day, right? No, and women don't want that of a man either. So confidence is something that is really attractive to women, and confidence starts in your mindset. Mindset determines everything. And without it, none of the other strategies can be effective. I save this one for last, and it's kind of a chicken and the egg type situation, but without this one is the root of the other ones. And I know if the other ones aren't working, it makes it hard to have confidence. But if we take it out of the relationship world and take it to like a business level, right? For those of you who have pitched things, who are in sales, who are moving up in your career, you've heard no's, right? There's going to be no's along the way. Just as in dating, there's going to be no's. But you keep going, right? For whatever reason, it didn't work out with that girl. And I would say 9 out of 10 times with the men that I've worked with, and speaking from life experiences, there was a pretty good damn reason why it didn't. And as much as there was heartache, during that situation, it's made you a better man. And it has built your confidence, even though it might not be apparent at first, but that's helped build that. And so, it's so important to be in that right mindset, because that is going to fuel everything else. It's going to push you to increase your level of attraction, right? It's going to allow you to take action. It's going to allow you to put healthy boundaries so that you are not so available and you're creating a sense of need and desire and romanticism, right? Kind of tapping into that gushy stuff that women are into. And it's going to allow you to be so present in those moments, to read her nonverbal, right? Her body language. It's all interconnected. And again, mindset is what determines everything. So a full recap, and I kind of just connected mindset to everything, but I want to make sure that you really grasp these concepts. So again, the first strategy was taking action, right? Not just approaching, but taking that bold move of asking for her number, asking her on a date. And when you are on the date, whether it be the first one, again, kind of next level here, but cueing in if it's right or not, moving in for a kiss or for, a touch on the hand or something like that, that you're able to see and feel like that's where I want to take it with this woman, that you do that you have that confidence to do that. Second strategy, do not be so available. Do not answer her every beck and call. Cannot repeat that enough, because then, one, she sees you as a friend if you're talking with her for hours on a phone, because as a boyfriend, most men aren't, right, talkative for that long. Gosh, having been on with my husband for over 15 years, sometimes it's a struggle to be on the phone with him more than 5 minutes. So I know most women know that men aren't on the phone for hours on end. So don't do something that you don't like to do. Don't be so available, bottom line. Third strategy is increase your attractiveness, right? Taking that time to invest time in yourself, because your exterior is the first thing that she sees, that any woman sees. And if you want to come across as a guy that is wanting to make women want him, then you need to look the part. It's about marketing, right? We all like the pretty packages, handsome packages. And so that's something that is important. Fourth strategy, understand a woman's nonverbal communication. So huge. She is talking to you even before you say a word or she says a word. Remember, 80 to 90% of our communication is nonverbal. So it's really important that you are able to understand and pick up on what she's saying to you. And lastly, again, strengthening your mindset. because without that one, none of these other strategies can really fall into place. And it's going to be hard to take that first step of getting yourself in a place to come across attractive, and so that you can take that action step of going up to her and asking her out. All right, so I want to just bring this up again because I really hope that for the men who are at a place that you want to take action, that you take advantage of these 2 sessions that I have. You know, the Get My Perfect 10 strategy session is the perfect way to get you on track towards achieving your dating and relationship goals. It's going to help you eliminate wasting time or spinning your wheels, right, on what is it that you're doing. We're going to create that action plan after creating a clear vision and uncovering those barriers that have been blocking you. So it's going to help ease the frustration, the loneliness, and the anger that you've been experiencing, because we're going to create something for you that you can start implementing. So that again, in January 2018, you're in the place that you've been wanting to be, not in this place. And again, I have only 2 available spots, so please email me ASAP to secure your session. Here is my email again, kd@christydeleon.com. Email me as soon as you can. Send me your contact information so that we can schedule your session ASAP. So, some hot seat coaching I want to provide for you right now. Really appreciate you staying on with me up to this point. I want to clarify any of the strategies that I've given you, answer any questions. I'm here live with you. And hey, I don't see myself, so hopefully this camera is on point here. So what was my email again? I'm going to type it into the chat box again, but it's christydeleon.com. And hopefully you got that. If not, I'm going to send that again here for you. And let me review here what we've got in regards to questions. So a question that we have here is is what if you're looking at a woman and she doesn't notice you? How can you pick up on her signals if she's not noticing you? Which is a great question that I got here. So yeah, if a woman doesn't notice you, and speaking from experience as well, put yourself in a position that she can see you. Coming up alongside her or going around, because we want to make sure that you see both front and back, right? Very honestly, that you see her, and so that you can create the opportunity to make eye contact. I guarantee you that if you are in her line of vision, she will notice you and she will start communicating with you non-verbally. A recent experience that I had that I can speak from, and oh, you're welcome, Scott. A recent experience that I had, that is why I mentioned being in her line of vision, was that I was walking across a parking lot and I did notice that there was a man walking, right? Safety. And I noticed him from the corner of my eye, and I keep just walking to my car. It's daytime. And all of a sudden I hear excuse me. And I turn around and he says, can I get your number? And I was like, no, I have a husband. I'm married. And which cue in number 2, guys, make note, look at her ring finger. And then, which was to my surprise, so don't ever do this. He asked me, well, are you happy with him? I mean, come on, right? What kind of question is that? Yeah, I am happy with him. Thanks for asking. I know there's some women who cheat. I don't think if you are wanting a lasting relationship with a woman, right, Kevin, he is a nitwit. Thanks, God, for the apologies. You wouldn't ask that kind of question. You don't want that kind of woman who's going to cheat on her husband. And I just remember that I'm live on camera, so this is funny. So yeah, don't ask that kind of question, and take note of her ring finger. And however, though, I could tell, he made the effort of like walking almost half across this parking lot to follow me, which I would think at that point, it cued me in on where he was looking, which was not my ring finger. I do give him props for walking across the parking lot, but still, it's like, have a better approach. And it's interesting. This is a guy that I had ended up coaching for a bit. And, he unfortunately had the difficulty in seeing how he's contributing to his whole dating problem, which, man, we do have our 50%, right? Whether it's one of these 5 strategies that I shared with you that you're doing that you're not realizing, that's maybe something that no one has ever shared with you. So if it is, I'm happy that you're on here today, that I was able to share these 5 strategies with you. But yeah, he had a hard time wanting to admit, wanting to accept his 50% on how he was, one, attracting the wrong kind of woman, which that's something that's super common, right? If your energy is all over the place and chaotic, you're going to attract a woman who is on that same chaotic, energetic level. Not to get all woo-woo on you, but yeah, you are going to attract those crazies. And so, and that's part of your 50%. Right, is knowing where you're at and what kind of energy you're giving off to women. And also just like the blatant, where you're looking for these women. Are you looking at a place where your ideal woman is at? Or are you kind of subconsciously putting yourself in a place where you're meeting these women who are just interested in hooking up? Which maybe that's where you're at right now, which there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's all about getting clear on where you're at in the dating, right? Where you want to be. If it's that you want to be in a relationship, if you want to settle, stop the chase and find someone to share your life with, right? The majority of men that I work with, they get to that place that they want that sense of fulfillment and commitment. They want someone to come home to share their day with, or just sit with and do nothing, or to go out with, right? To create new adventures. And if you're at that place, I know these strategies are going to help you, and it's going to help start trimming down, right? The kind of women that you go for. Because number 4, right, which is huge, of being able to read a woman's nonverbal communication, that's going to cue you in even before you make that extra effort of walking up to her. That's going to cue you in on, do I walk up to her or do I not? To kind of save you from that rejection, right? For someone who's clearly not interested. And so it's something that I want to definitely make sure that you are aware of. So Scott, I kind of got sidetracked here because I saw you write in, what's the line between being too available and not enough? That's a great question. So too available is, again, any just bending over backwards for a woman, right? A woman that you just met. Let me remind you, when you're dating, you just met this person. You didn't know them a week ago, a month ago, whatever, right? You just met them. So making yourself too available is that you want to go out with them every night. Well, what are you doing tonight? What are you doing tomorrow? As opposed to kind of like stringing it out, right? I recommend for the men who I work with that you start off with at least maybe 2, max 3 dates a week, kind of spreading them out, because during that time you're also allowing yourself the opportunity to process the experience with this woman as well as her with you, right? So that you both can see, is this someone that I want to continue to invest time and energy with? Because that is so important, right? You don't want to end up in a relationship where the person doesn't want to spend time with you, right? Or that you realize, oh my gosh, like, you repulse me. And that's the last place anybody wants to be in. So yeah, it's about giving yourself that time as well as her to process how the dates have been, kind of marinate and, it went well. I really like her. Or actually know that what she did kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I cued into her values are not in alignment with mine, so I don't think we should move forward. And then the not enough would be, right, like every time she asks, can we go out, or what are you doing? If she's the one to ask, that you're like, no, I'm not. Like the example that I gave during the presentation was, if it's like a half hour to 7, right? And you haven't heard from her all day. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, are you available? No, I'm not. I have shit to do. Sorry, pardon my French. Because guess what? That also tells her that you're not waiting around for her text. Right? Because if you're waiting around for her text, that's showing her you have nothing else going on. And at first, although that's kind of nice, like, hey, he is available, he is going to drop everything to go with me, that is going to end up losing its luster, because then it is going to create this kind of unhealthy dynamic of wanting to be with them all the time, and then it comes across as needy and desperate. So no, each of you have your own things going on. Stick to what you have going on. If it's that you already made plans with your buddies, do that. If it's that you were just going to call it a night, do that. You're going to work on your business, your side hustle, do that. And then let her know, no, you know what? I actually already had plans. Oh, okay. And then ask her, or tell her, I am available tomorrow. Or what about on the weekend? And then follow up and make a plan, because that creates that sense of scarcity, that desire, right? And women want to be with a man, obviously, right, that they desire. And so if you're not so available, she's going to be thinking about you. She's going to want to be seeing you, creating anticipation, which is all about dating, right? That made me think about when I was dating my husband, that anticipation for the date of, all right, I'm not going to see him tonight because I was working, but I'm going to see him tomorrow. It creates excitement, right? It draws up those emotions. And again, right, us women, we are a bit more emotional creatures. So when you're creating that positive emotional connection, it's creating more spark for her and more of a desire, as it is for you too, because then you're also creating a healthy boundary that you're valuing. yourself that you have stuff that you need to take care of, and you need to stick to your commitments, right? You're not just going to throw everything to the side because she wants to see you in half hour or whatever. Scott, I hope that answered your question. Type in and let me know if it did, if I can clarify any further. Because I think coming back to something that I threw in there was this idea of boundaries, right? And that it is important to have healthy boundaries in a relationship, because with healthy boundaries, you're showing that person where the line is, right? How much you value yourself, and how much you value them too, right? Because if out of loneliness, we allow ourselves to become that doormat, that is, right, devaluing us. That's allowing that person to take advantage of us. That brings down our self-worth. And people take advantage of that, right? Because it's easy to be in a relationship like that and to take advantage of a person like that. So it's important, and it's something that I suggest with the men that I work with, is from the get-go, it's important to establish those boundaries at the beginning of dating. So yes, we'll chat over email. Okay. I'm glad that clarified things for you, Scott. Again, if you have any questions, I'm going to make sure I didn't miss any questions here or that were sent privately to me. Let's see. Okay. So another question here was in regards to attractiveness. Yeah. So you have not been taking care of yourself too much. Doesn't mean I have to buy a whole new wardrobe or start going to the gym 7 days a week. You know, everyone has their own look. I'm not saying that you have to change your style to the example I gave. I think that was a very concrete, kind of black and white example of a man who is taking extra time to pick out his clothes, have a clean haircut, work on his body, right? And attractiveness, I think, comes back to you demonstrating to others that you are taking time to take care of yourself. Really, it's what it is. Because no, I mean, I'm just going to be really honest with you guys. Coming across as a slob or a guy who dresses like he's still in middle school is not attractive to a woman. Yes, there are guys who get women who dress like that. Now, I can think of 2 people right now. However, I know that these 2 people have already been together for a long time. And I also know that the wife, I mean, they were together back actually in high school. So that's how she met him. That's the impression he left with her. And she was still attracted to him. Go her. However, I do know that she has shared that she wished his form of clothes would change, that he would dress a little different. And so if you're on the dating scene right now, because it's a numbers game, right? You are competing with other men. So something that is going to make you stand out from other men is your appearance, right? It already is, right? You're not, unless you're a twin, you don't have a duplicate of yourself running around out there. So again, I think I had mentioned that how you look is like your business card, right? And you're not going to hand somebody a crumpled up, crappy business card. It's going to be something that's crisp, that's clean, that's going to get their attention. And that's something that's going to draw any woman's attention. But also, the way that you dress really ties into how you project yourself. A lot of studies showing the correlation between how confidence is exuded with level of dress. And if, let's say, you were to dress, or you do dress like the picture of the guy that I shared with you, there's going to be like an automatic sense of confidence that you exude with that kind of dressing in a way that you're showing to yourself and to others that you value yourself. That's huge, that you value yourself, that you respect yourself, that you've taken the time to put your clothes together, not just rummage around on what's clean, what's left, that you are taking the time to take care of yourself, right? No, it's not that every guy has to go on steroids and be ridiculously buff with chiseled abs, toned body, looking like one of those, we call them meatheads from the Jersey Shore. There we go. No, you don't need that. You don't need the waxed eyebrows or the fake tan. But you need to show up in a way that you're showing to women that you value yourself. Because when you value yourself, others will value you. And I can imagine that the way you want to be valued is much more than what has been happening. So show that to the world, because you deserve to be valued. You deserve to be with a woman who sees your value, who appreciates your value, and who adds to it foremost, right? Let me see. I think we have time for, oh my goodness, I'm kind of over here. So one more quick question in regards to, let's see if I find it here. In regards to taking action. So yeah, when I approach a woman, what would be a great first line to say? Yeah. What would be a great first line in taking action? And one of, it's going to sound so simple and cliche, but one of the most easiest things and simplest things that gets a woman is one, smiling, right, as I'm doing to you now, even though I can't see you, and just saying, hi, my name is. That's it. There's no fancy one-liner. I mean, I know in my group programs and one-on-one coaching, we kind of tailor it a bit more to you. But something I want to share with you right now is just, hi, my name is. And in coming across in a very genuine way, in a very centered, calm way, right? Not that crazy, nervous, anxious sweatiness that will turn off any woman or scare her off. But in being just calm and centered and just saying hi and approaching her, that's something that is very gentlemanlike. That is something that maybe some women aren't used to, so you might catch her off guard. Not like, hey, I want to buy you a drink, because that's assuming she wants to take a drink from you, that she is drinking. But just saying hi and introducing yourself is one of the easiest, most simplest pickup liners that you can do with any woman. So I want to leave you with that. You have my email, and I want to make sure to type it in. And I can't, let me see, here to everyone. So let me make sure to type that in. I want you to take advantage of one of these 2 sessions that I have to offer if you are in a place that you're ready to not be in this place anymore, right? To date women, to end up dating the kind of women that you really want and get in that relationship that's going to give you happiness, love, and fulfillment. I want to hear from you, because I would love to talk to you, clarify your vision. Let's look at those, things that have been blocking your progress and create you a plan to get you that much closer to the woman of your dreams. Thank you so much for being with me here tonight. I hope to hear from you so that we can move forward with getting you at a much different place. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll talk soon. Bye.